What's good? It's Jordan. Today I'll be talking to you about the increase of hustle culture. See, in this life today, many of us were taught that we have to be ambitious, that we have to work hard, that we have to achieve, that we have to be successful, that we have to be the best that we can be. We have to understand that when we start to adapt this mentality constantly on a day-to-day basis, what we're essentially saying is we are contributing to the hustle culture. It says that we have to go and we have to go and we have to get out there and we have to do it. We have to understand that this mentality is not healthy. Many times we have adapted this mentality due to seeing other people become successful. See, with media and programming, we have to understand that everything that we see on social media may not be real. Many times our fantasies and desires get in the way and we decide that we want to adapt the mentality of those quote-unquote successful people that we may see, not understanding their life behind the scenes. We have to understand that when we try to adapt this mentality, we're essentially ruining and destroying ourselves. We do not know these people. We do not know the things that they go through on a day-to-day basis. Many times we want to look at other people's lives without actually understanding our own lives and actually having a sense and self-worth for our own selves. Many times we look outside of ourselves because we want to be like those people. We think that because they did it, we can do it. We have to understand in this life, everybody does not have the same life. Everybody does not strive for the same goals, ambitions, and passions. We have to understand that there's people out here that want to achieve and strive more and be quote-unquote successful. And then there's other people who just want to be regular. They want to be able to pay their bills, take care of their family, and just live comfortably. We have to understand the role that we play within society. If we decide that we want to play a role that we're not meant to play in society, we can essentially ruin ourselves. With playing a role that we're not meant to play in society, what we essentially do and are trying to do is keep up with the Joneses. Why are we trying to keep up with people who we're not meant to keep up with? We have to understand that when we place ourselves in the competition mentality, we essentially do not learn anything. All we learn to do is just to compete and compete. And when you're trying to compete with somebody, you have to wait until that person does what they do and then try to constantly one-up that person. And when you do that, you're not learning anything. You're just playing a game that person might not be playing with you. And essentially, we have to be secure in ourselves, because what you're saying is when you're competing with other people, you're not secure in yourself. You're not secure in what you do. You're not secure in your path, your mission, and your purpose. When you're secure in yourself, you don't need to compete. When you're secure in yourself, you do not need to adapt a hustle mentality in order for you to quote-unquote be successful. There were people who didn't have that mentality, and they were quote-unquote success stories. We have to understand that everybody's path, mission, and purpose is different. And when you try to compete with somebody and you try to compare your life to somebody else's life, essentially nothing good could come out of it. See, when you see things that are successful and fully functional, you have to understand that people have their own mission, their own path, their own goals, and their own purpose to achieve the success that they might have achieved. Essentially, there's also other people who've done other things in order to achieve success. Some things may be negative, other things may be off the Richter and off the board, but we're speaking as a whole on adopting a mentality where people think that it is just hustle, hustle, hustle all the time in order for you to be a success story. We have to understand that in this day and age, it is good to be ambitious. It is good to actually have a drive, a fuel for wanting more, a purpose in your life. But we also have to understand rest. We have to understand the importance of recovery. We have to understand the importance of actually putting goals aside and understanding that hey, this goal may not be obtainable today, but in the future, it can get done. Many times I saw in my own life things that I wasn't able to do in the past, I'm now able to do in the present. Things that weren't achievable in the past are now achievable in the present. And sometimes life has a way of throwing things in your direction in a way where when you do things in your own personal life, the things that you're not able to achieve in the past, in your present life, it just comes to you with ease. And we have to understand this. When we're trying to force ourselves into a position, into a place, into doing a thing that we're not meant to do, you essentially ruin and destroy your value. Something that is meant for you will always be there for you. And when it's there for you, you will know and you will understand it. You don't have to force yourself in it. You don't have to do things that are out of the positive mentality in order to obtain these things. It will be there. When you understand this, your life starts to flow. Your life starts to go in the direction that it's supposed to go into. When you try to force things, that's when things do not go your way. When you start to become calm and you start to go with the flow and you start to actually understand that, hey, if you take it slow and you go with the flow and you actually rest and recover, you have the ability and the time frame in order for you to actually achieve what you want to achieve in this life today. See, in this life, it is important that we know and understand this, so when we embark on our journey, our mission, and our path and purpose, we're well equipped to fight the good fight. When we're not well equipped to fight the good fight, then we end up losing the fight. In everything, we have to understand that ambition, discipline, working hard is great. It is good to have those attributes, but putting that over yourself, putting that over everything in your own personal life will not be helpful. There is a time to work, and there's a time to rest, and then there's a time to enjoy. We have to understand these things, because if we just prioritize working and working and working and working all the time, you may have resources from that. You may be able to do things that you weren't able to do before, yes. But also, are you living a life that is worth living? Are you living in freedom? Or are you living in a mentality that is just enforcing that you hustle, 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 and rest later? Essentially, when you live in that mentality, you start to stress yourself. You start to stress your body. You start to stress your mentality. Essentially, you become miserable. There are people in this life that hustled and worked hard 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 until they were at the age of retirement, that they're able to retire. And they don't know what to do with their lives afterwards because they did not build hobbies, they did not build interests, they did not build anything outside of just working hard. And when they left their career paths, their jobs, and their positions, they were lost. It's like they had to start over again. Do not be that person. Understand that you have the ability to build interests and hobbies for yourself outside of the common things that you may do on a day-to-day basis. That's that you understand that your life is valuable and your life is important. Because if you do not understand that, then you live in a cycle. And that cycle that you live in, you could be passing it on to generations to generations. We have to understand that in this life, it isn't always about just hustling, but it's always best that we understand that we have the ability to enjoy life as well too. We have the ability to rest too. We have the ability to recover too. So it's best that we understand this, and it's best that we learn early, because at the end of the day, whatever you may see online, whatever you may see in reality, it's not the same. When we understand this, we can move away from being the people that may compare ourselves to other people and just live and follow the direction that we're meant to be on in this life today. So today, I'll be leaving you with this scripture, and I hope that this scripture can help you in your own personal lives today. 1 Timothy 6:10. For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. It is through this craving that some have wandered away from the faith and pierced themselves with many pangs. Understand that in this life today, you have the ability to formulate a relationship with the Most High. And understand that in this life, it is good that we work hard, we become ambitious. But also understand that your relationship with the Most High is more important with that. When we understand that our relationship is more important, the Most High will formulate plans, ideas for us to strive and move on and move forward and move ahead in this life today. We just have to put our faith and trust in the Most High and understand that we have the ability in this life to do the things that we need to do today in order for us to be in the best position possible for our lives today. Peace.